This is what you call live streaming in more ways than one. The rain here has been unbelievable, and it's a bit of a miracle that the game's going ahead at all, but it is an all-weather pitch, so it can take it, and it is taking a game in the last hour and a half in ladies football. And I was just told that he said there was 3 in the last hour. What was that, 3 millimetres of rain or something? But basically it bucketed down. It's been raining most of the day, and it's been bucketing for the last few hours, and the pitch is still okay. The players are out there, so we're going to have a game here, unbelievably. And you have to feel sorry for DCU here, hosting the competition and hosting all the competitions this year. And they have hit, the worst monsoon rain that you could imagine at this time of the year. And the weather's always going to be poor, but this poor, it's absolutely crazy. And I'm looking down below me, actually. I've just realised, and I don't know if Pat, or if you can spin down there to look at this here. You've already done it. The rain down below me, and it's streaming down from the hill where we have our van. It really is a stream, a live stream, and it's like a river down below us here. I sort of thought, why is that brown down below us at the bottom of the steps? But it's like a river. It's settled there. It's unbelievable. But the pitch has taken it, and that is credit to DCU and their facilities here, that at least they're able to still put on this game. In fact, it's the 4th game today, so we did 2 earlier on. And by the way, tomorrow there's going to be 4 more games on this pitch back to back. The grass pitches just can't take it at the minute. So all the games are going to be here tomorrow. Well, 4 out of 5, and there's another one. The Fergalmire final is going to be down the road in St Pat's Drumcondra, but there's going to be 4 here, 2 Ryan Cup semi-finals and 2 Corn and McLean semi-finals as well, and we will be streaming as much of that as we can and filming the rest of it, so look forward to that tomorrow. But here for now, we have the Electric Ireland Fesher 1 final. So it's a Fesher football final. It's basically the top 2 who have got to this. There was a league final a few months ago, but this is a championship final, and it's 2 different teams who have made it, and that probably says something about the competition and about the level of play, and after Christmas and just the change in teams maybe, or whatever, or the conditions, I don't know. But Ulster University won it before Christmas to beat ATU Galway in a great game in Abbottstown. I think it was at the end of November. And yet here tonight we have 2 totally different teams, and we have DCU, the home team, and then we have TUS Midlands, who are creating history. It's their first ever final. Sorry, my umbrella's just decided to go for a walk, but I've managed to catch it there. Didn't realise there was wind here as well. Didn't think there was going to be wind, but there is a bit of wind coming in from left to right, just a little bit. Hopefully it'll not pick up too much. What was I telling you? Yeah, TUS Midlands are making history in the first Fesher 1 final that they have ever been in. They beat UCC in the semi-finals. The great UCC, obviously, and one of the top colleges always in college of sport, and was the case last night in Croke Park. But TUS Midlands blitzed them in the semi-final 220 to 111 to reach this final, so that they've come through in style, and they by all means are a very, very good team with the likes of Owen Cardy there and Shane Corcoran and people like that. So actually, do you know what, it might be just as well to go and look at the teams then, and rather than just giving you 1 or 2, we'll have a look at those teams. And I think we're probably starting with DCU. We are. So would you look at the name of the goalkeeper? Somebody's having a laugh. Joshua Flood. Is that appropriate tonight or what? Joshua Flood in goals, and it has been a flood. He's from Maynooth. 2 is their captain, Sean Keogh from St Vincent's, not too far from here. 3 is Michael Reid from the brilliantly named Hunterstown Rovers in Louth. 4, Andrew Stewart from Emmyvale and Monaghan. 5, Ryan Robinson, Dunshaughlin. 6, Callum McRae from Four Masters, and you'll notice Kevin Muldoon 11 and Turlough Carr at 12, all from the same club. And those lads would have been together quite a lot now and had a brilliant run at the St Paul's Ulster Minor Club Tournament. They were in 3 finals, I think it was, in a row, or maybe even 4, and won a couple of those, and those lads were all part of that, and Callum McRae lifted the cup up there. All terrific footballers, and there they are now playing with DCU. Isn't it brilliant? I mean, they're playing alongside the likes of boys from the likes of St Vincent's, and they wouldn't have got a chance to play otherwise together, but they are tonight and on this team. 7, Donnoch McGee from Clanwurra in Dublin. That would be Carla Rose Club, if you know your ladies football, the Dublin ladies captain. 8, Senan Ryan from Clontarf, and 14, Luke O'Boyle is also from Clontarf. 9, Canis Murphy is Castle Blaney 10, Jack Kelly from Glencar Manor Hamilton and Leitrim. He's a senior for Leitrim. And then John McGuinness at 13 is Roscommon Gales, and 15 is Matthew Thornton from Multy-Farnham in Westmeath. Going on then to TUS Midlands, and I'm just noticing actually the players are they changing their jerseys? No, they're just taking their tops off and getting their jerseys on out there, DCU. So TUS Midlands in goal, Sean Gillespie from Rathkenny and Meath. 2, Pat Kenna from Tullamore. 3, Cian Whitney from the also brilliantly named Moat All Whites in Westmeath. 4, Conor Breen from Naas in Kildare. 5, Adam Fox from Tubber in Offaly. 6, Owen Carty from Roscommon. 7, we have Taylor Slevin from Tubber Clare in Westmeath, and ahead of him Paul Keegan at 12 is from the same club, Tubber Clare in Westmeath, and Taylor is known also for kicking 45s and 2-pointers. He did that against UCC in the semi-final. Midfield, you have Niall Hennigan, big lad, from Michael Glavies in Roscommon, and 9 is Dahi Dowling from Sarsfields Kildare. 10, Andrew Hill from, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Clogher and Co from Kildare, in Kildare. 11, Kieran McDonough from Oranmore in Galway. 12, as I say, Paul Keegan. 13, Cian Duggan from St Dominic's in Roscommon. He scored 6 points in the semi-final. 14, Shane Corcoran from St Malachy's in Westmeath. He'll be a senior for them, one of the main men on this team. And 15, Brian Ronan. That's like 2 first names. Brian Ronan from Milltown Pass in Westmeath. So those are the teams in them. You might be picking up some of the wind on my microphone. It has picked up the wind over the last 5 minutes or so, and it's going from left to right. So not only do we have the rain, we have the wind as well. Actually, it's really picking up, isn't it? I'm sure you can hear that. We usually have a cover on the microphone, but we don't have it here at the minute. We might have to get that because this is quite bad for me anyway. Hopefully it's not too bad for you, and I will keep an eye on the live chat there on YouTube as we go on. So nearly ready for the start of this game, and the referee, I have to tell you, is Barry Tiernan from Dublin. And then you have Andrew Smith from Meath and Kevin McDonnell from Dublin. DCU, by the way, who are out there still kicking balls in, so they're not quite ready. I'll tell you about their management team. There's one interesting, well, they're all interesting, but one in particular for me. So they've Mossy Burke from Nafena, but he's a Galway man originally, but with the Nafena club down the road from here. And Mark O'Day is also from the Nafena club. Then you have David Neary from Roscommon. Michael Blaney is Fanad in Donegal, way up there. And then you have another Donegal man, Nathan Gavigan, and his dad would be the famous Rambo. And that is Martin Gavigan, who would have played back in the day in the 90s for Donegal, and who's a real I'm just watching people trying to step over the river here down below, so it's quite entertaining. And somebody else going, I don't think I'll fancy that. So yeah, Rambo Gavigan, centre half back in that Donegal team that won the All-Ireland in 1992, and his son Nathan is part of the management tonight for DCU. TUS Midlands, their management, well, you have Owen Carberry from Rosemount in Westmeath, you have Conor Foley, Lorcan Dolan and Kevin Dolan. So that's the scene. We're almost ready to go, and now we're going to get my microphone seen to. Done. Right, hopefully that's better, and that'll keep the wind out as well. Running repairs live as we speak, but that is the beauty of this, and it's the beauty of this game tonight. Wherever you are able to watch this free to view thanks to the Higher Education GAA committee, and from the comfort of your home, your car, wherever you're watching it from, and hopefully it'll be a great game. And why not? We're standing out here in the rain and have been most of the day, but you know, you've got to love it too, that you can put a game like this on and be able to live stream it to wherever you are. Isn't it great? So it is the Electric Ireland's Fesher 1 football final. They call it sometimes the best competition in the GAA because it's only first years allowed to play, and there's boys from all over the country get to play together. They're all of a certain age, and you never know what you're going to get. They don't play together again, but the football's fantastic. The rain's picking up again. Players all lining up, and now they are going to their positions. And I'm just going to take another little time out for a second to move my microphone around a bit just to make it more comfortable before we get there. There we go. And just as I took my headphones off, I was able to hear there, and outside the microphones you hear different things, and I'm hearing what sounded like a waterfall. I realised it's just the rain coming down from behind us, down the steps, into the river down below us. So the team's changing around. TUS Midlands in the navy, I think that is, or is it black? And the goalkeeper might have a bit of bother there for DCU, because he's wearing a very similar jersey to them, so that could be changed. So, almost ready, and you know what, could be a cracking match. We had an unbelievable match yesterday in the Trench Cup, and now we've got this one. The joke was that we got drenched in the trench. What are we going to get tonight? So it's DCU playing from right to left. The two number 8s out there, Shannon Ryan, number 8 for DCU, and Niall Hennigan, number 8 for TUS Midlands. The referee, Barry Tiernan from Dublin. And I will clear my screen and my glasses here so I can see the action. And here we go, and it's the TUS Midlands man, Niall, who gets the first ball and puts it in there. And a chance for them, a nice pick up as well. Feeding it back out, I think that was Paul Keegan who put it out there, and he's got it back, possibly the first score of the game. And it is. What a great start by TUS Midlands. Well, I told you, I heard they were good. I haven't seen them myself. I was told they were very good. A very complimentary write-up on their report last week in the win over UCC, and they have underlined that in the first 30 seconds of the game. It might even about 20. I can't tell you the time because I can't see my monitor tonight. There's no way we're going to have all those sort of nice extra facilities on a night like this. It's just about getting the job done and getting the game out, and that's what we are doing. Number 13 there is Cian Duggan. Nice quick ball into the forwards, and the corner forward Brian Ronan able to take that and giving it back to where it came from. This is Kieran McDonough, who's a fine player from Oranmore. Got the first goal against UCC, by the way. Came from a big turnover, and is that gone over? No, just pawed away by Joshua Flood, the aptly named player tonight. He wins that award for the most aptly named. And that's Shannon Ryan from Clontarf, just out the road from here. Now they're penned in here, DCU. Home advantage, of course, tonight. And a lot of lads from St Vincent's and Clontarf and that sort of thing. And they get it back out now to Taylor Slevin. They move it really quickly, don't they? And their players are very, very nippy. Lovely little feet, move of the feet there, but that's going to go right. The wind's going to take that away over to the right and wide. But they move the ball quickly. They're very sharp, TUS Midlands, and they've started brightly here in this game. Goalkeeper for DCU already ready. Ball's way over to the right. He let someone else get that, but he's got the other one out. He wants to take it quickly, but he hasn't many options. And then there was a little move here by Andrew Stewart, and that was a good one. He was left alone, and it was a good find by the goalkeeper. So to get possession, but look at the press on there from TUS Midlands as he tries to go down the line. 1, 2, 3, 4 men coming in on him. Serious pressure on him. Now he does brilliantly, but that's unbelievable pressure. I told you that the goal in the semi-final, the first one, came from a turnover out the field, and you can understand why. This TUS Midlands team, very, very impressive. Now they did lose one game in the championship so far, but it was a end of group game where they'd already qualified. They lost to ATU Galway 113 to 111, but it was already sorted. He's not going for that, is he? Well, he fooled me and he fooled them, and that's another little dummy there by Shane Corcoran. And they're coming back out to Kieran McDonough. Well, they've had the ball in the DCU half for the entire opening of this game. And that's probably a good idea because the wind's coming from the left and the rain's coming from the left, so we'd prefer to look this way. Now, can they get a score to add to that one at the start in the first 20 seconds? Nicely worked. They're just trying to get it a little bit closer, and as I say, number 7 over on this side is good at the 2-pointers, but they haven't got it over to him in a position just yet. Again, really quick feet, but blocked down from Paul Keegan there. And I think, is that the 13 back there for DCU? No, it's 12 back there. That was Turtle Carr. Donegal man. 3 Donegal men in the starting team, and all from the same club, 4 Masters. All the lads have come to college together in Dublin. That's good play to get out there and beat the press, to get it to the captain, Sean Cohen. Now, finally, DCU can get over halfway. And indeed, they get it up into the forwards. That's a lovely ball in, and he comes out and meets it. That's good play. Can he get a score with the luminous boots? That's John McGuinness from Roscommon Gales. They've switched it nicely. And now the shot comes in, and that looks pretty good to me. First attack, first score, I think. Waiting for the signal. No, yes it is. Thought he was going for a wide there. But it is a score, and I think it was Turlough Carr who got it. So he was back in defence and then up there getting a score, 1 point each. Good start to the game, good lively start. Never mind the conditions. Goalkeeper is Sean Gillespie from Rathkenny. That's in Meath. Puts it up looking for the big man, but it's going to break, and DCU are claiming it, but I think it might go the other way. It does go the other way. And Paul Keegan takes it quickly. 2 men back there, but they spill it, and TUS get it. And it's a free in. Free in for TUS Midlands. Are they going to take their time? Are they going to hit it? As I say, Slevin can hit these. And there is a bit of a breeze there, but he's not coming over actually. That looks like Brian Ronan is going to be taking that one out of his hands. Big crowd now coming over to us for some reason now. I don't know what that's about, but they'll all come in and around us now. We've got a lot of people in here. And they're certainly not looking for shelter. I don't know what they're doing over here. That's going to curl in beautifully. Oh, he gave that everything and judged it perfectly. That's a super, super score, and it's 2 points to 1 for TUS Midlands. I was told that in the semi-final he had 6 points and they were booming points, and I now understand what that newspaper report was about, because that was a real booming kick there up in the air, and it went a little bit one way and then the other, but it was beautifully judged, and maybe it's because we were right behind it. You can see that. This is Slevin for TUS Midlands who come again. And this is Corcoran, Shane Corcoran. They are really lively, and all of their forwards are sharp. And what an effort that is. Oh, hello. Hello, what a score that is. Shane Corcoran, my goodness, from St Malachy's in Westmeath. And that's 2 terrific points in about a minute. This TUS Midlands team is really turning on the style and showing us why they have made history in getting to the first ever Fesher 1 final. Well, they haven't really been on the map that much over the years, to be honest, and they've kept this a bit quiet, haven't they? Now, the referee has brought that ball out to the middle. I'm not quite sure what that was about. Was there something happened out there? The goalkeeper took a while to kick it out, but then he wasn't punished, so I don't know what that was. But anyway, DCU have got the ball halfway up the pitch now, and Turlough Carr, I think he got the first score, and he gives it back to his Four Masters club mate Callum McRae. They speed up along the right hand side there. I say I don't know who that is on the far side. I can't see the numbers. Oh, look at the pace there. Oh my goodness, that's terrific pace, and he nearly gets through as well. And they might get a score. Oh, he rattles it over the bar, and that's a super score from Senan Ryan. And it makes it 3 points to 2. And that was all about the pace there, wasn't it? That was serious pace. It was fast initially, and then the second player took it, and he went through the gears and went into overdrive. That was serious fast pace. And then the drive over the bar. 3 points to 2. I was hoping the rain might stop. It surely couldn't rain this long, but apparently it's to rain all the way through to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, so there's no chance. That is taken by Kieran McDonough, and taken well, and drove it into the forwards as quickly as he could, but it didn't stick, and it's coming back out again. So guarding myself a little bit here from the rain coming in from the left. So it's into the faces of the DCU players. So it's very difficult for them in the first half. Well, difficult for all of the players. Still lots of spectators coming in and around me for some reason over this side here. There's no shelter anywhere, I guess. Now there's a chance for DCU. That's a lovely spin as he got it over the bar. It's a really good effort. And by the cheer from the sideline, it is over the bar, and indeed the umpire signals as well. It's 3 points each, and that's really good from DCU. So we've already had some fantastic scores in this game, despite the conditions. I did tell you this is one of the best competitions in the GAA for so many reasons. And you've already seen superb skills and finishing. And serious credit to the players. And the big crowd here. I'm looking over the far side. You can see in the shot as well, a lot of umbrellas. Big crowd here at this game. It is an All-Ireland final after all. And referee says that's okay. TUS fullback, I think it was there, Cian Whitney, who won that duel. Serious pressure being applied, the energy out there, the intensity is unbelievable, and they get a free to TUS Midlands, and look how quickly they take it. Of course they wanted to quickly, and there was a foul as he kicked it, and the referee's given advantage. He's given good advantage. Look at the amount of yellow jerseys getting back for DCU. He's going for it from there. That's an outrageous effort from there. If it goes over, no, it doesn't, just misses and no more. But he's actually going to bring it back, the referee, for the free that I was talking about. So trying to get my breath here and find out what's happening online, if everything's okay, and it seems to be. Now let me check on the YouTube as well. Sure, what else are you doing on a night like that except watching a game like this? And indeed, wow, there's about 850 devices already on the game. That's terrific for the Fesher 1 football final, and great to be able to showcase it on there and for everyone around the country and I'm sure the world to watch it. Oh, he's given that everything. He's given that everything. Oh, what a score. And it's a 2-pointer from way downtown out on the side. That was absolutely brilliant. Well, if you're thinking it's difficult out here for the players, they're making very light of the conditions, and that of course was Cian Duggan again with another of those booming points I was telling you about. He got 6 against UCC, 4 of them from frees, and you can see why. And it's 5 points to 3 with that 2-pointer. That's Turlough Carr again, driving it down to the corner. That's a great ball because the defender's in behind and it bounced in front of the forward. Very hard to defend it against. And that's a good effort as he put it over. Oh, I think it came off the post there, you know, and went just to the left. And I think it was maybe from the number 10, which would be Jack Kelly. It's very hard to see over there, but there must have been some sort of foul on him because it's been brought back to the area where he kicked it from. So a second chance for DCU. Yeah, I think that's 10. That would be Jack Kelly. Jack is from Glencar Manor Hamilton, known as Glencar Manor. And Leitrim, senior player for the county. So trailing by 2. Just that 2-pointer between the teams. They get it across to Canis Murphy, Monaghan man from Castleblaney Foz. Pressure on him, but it spills, and I thought it was going to spill actually for Donach McGee, but instead TUS Midlands have it, and they do like to transition very quickly. This is the centre half-back, Owen Cardy, who's a fine player, and they've driven it right into the forwards, and why not when you have pace like that? And he's picked it up beautifully there, Brian Ronan. He's speeding towards goal and nearly gets through, and ends up, it's going to be a free out actually, because he put his boot in there when the ball was loose and the DCU player was trying to pick it up, I think. This is Ryan Robinson, Meath man from Dunshaughlin Royal Gales, to give it the full name. Under pressure, Murphy, but keeps cool. Gets it to Robinson, gets it back again to Callum McRae. They get out of trouble by spreading it over to the far side. I think he's maybe got it to his Four Masters clubmate. He has. That's Turlough Carr. And back to McRae again. Four Masters to Four Masters, and working their way up the field over this side. They've Canis Murphy, and they're going to use him. He's go for a score. Yeah, he drops his shoulder, but just measures it slightly wrongly, and it just goes to the left and wide. 5-3. Good lively start to the game, and I make it, we're about 16, 17 minutes in. Sean Gillespie, another Meath man. Not sure why he's waiting. Changes his mind at the last second. Comes out to our side. And on the spill, it's Canis Murphy. Gives it to Donach McGee. Donach under serious pressure from the other number 7. That's Taylor Slevin doing well. And indeed they do turn it over. I have mentioned those turnovers before. And then you have Cardy coming out of defence, and the pace is there again with Paul Keegan. Paul gets it into the forwards. Now they haven't scored for a while since that 2-pointer. Haven't really had an attack. Well, they'd won maybe since then. It broke down. Now that's a good ball in it. They can get it through, but it's intercepted instead by Robinson, covering for the home team. This is Kevin Muldoon, the third of the four Masters lads I was telling you about. Again, Murphy has taken up a good position down the left, the midfielder, but Muldoon's still going all his own work. And a wee spin there. Is he going to try for his own shot? Good pace again and lively play from him, but he gives it to Senan Ryan, who I think got one of the points. And this is O'Boyle, and he's measured that nicely. And I'm just checking to the referee. I can't see exactly, but it's a 1-pointer. 5 points to 4. And good pace and energy to the game going up and down the field. So as I say, TUS Midlands had 1 defeat on the way here, but they did beat University of Galway 218 to 112, and they beat Sligo 115 to 114. And then after the groups, they beat DKIT 512 to 47, and then they beat UCC, as I said, and handsomely as well. And you can see why. Really, really good team, and that's good play by Keegan again, and a lovely ball. One of those ones again that's difficult for the defence. And the effort coming in, and he's put it over the bar. And is it a 2-pointer? No, it's a 1-pointer. And it was the 13 again, and it's Cian Duggan. He's racking up the scores, and he makes it 6-4. Well, they don't really do ordinary scores, do they? They only do spectacular, it would seem. Very quick in the transition, and they can really take points from distance. Just the 2 points in it, though. Seems like they should maybe be further ahead. They might be further ahead now because Kieran McDonough has it, and there's room here, and they might catch out DCU. Puts it over the bar, and there is 2 in about 30 seconds, and they have punished the sloppiness there from the kick out and put 3 in it, 7-4. DCU, when I'm talking about how they got here, DCU beat TUD 511 to 8. They then beat Maynooth 317 to 116. They beat UL 214 to 18, and they beat ATU Galway 114 to 011. Here's another chance for TUS if they can get in behind. The reason I'm reading out the research and the statistics there is the way the rain's going. I don't think I'll be able to read those the way the paper is being sort of destroyed by the rain, so I mightn't be able to give you any information the way this is going. The rain actually, do you know what, it had eased a little bit at the start of the game, but it has picked up again, so it's difficult for the players, but they're making light of it. As I say, that's good play by Ronan. I'm not just using his first name, that's his surname, Brian Ronan. This is McDonough. McDonough sees an opening there and he goes into the space, but he's really making space for somebody else. He's going for it from there and drives it. They seem to have players all over the field who aren't shy to hit it, and they can hit it from distance. They like to go for a 2-pointer, but that one well to the right and wide. Now DC will want to get their kickouts sorted out. So I make it, we're about 20-21 minutes in. As I say, I don't have a monitor, so you're able to see the time there, but I don't. But I'm working out on my watch, it's around there. And it's been very interesting. We have had, I think it's 10 scores. So with the 2-pointer, 7-4 for TUS Midlands. Callum McRae takes that one and gives it to Turlough Carr for DCU. Over the clubhouse end there, where I can't really see the numbers, to be honest. There's a ball just threaded through nicely, and I think that is John McGuinness coming out to meet it, but they end up more or less the same distance from goal. Come back out to McRae, real leader of a player at centre half-back, as he was for Four Masters in their Ulster minor club back-to-back wins. Here he is again. The two Donegal men combining. This one, Kevin Muldoon, who injects a little bit of pace and goes direct. He sees a chink of light there, a chance to go through, and he goes through it. Has the goalkeeper kept it out? No, he hasn't kept it from going over the line, so it's going to be a 45. But a little bit better from DCU, but I think we'll see more of them in the second half when the conditions are more in their favour. Just checking online here when the ball's out that everything's okay, and it is, except the audience has actually gone up to around 950. That's a terrific audience for a Fesher 1 football final. That's driven beautifully. That could well be over, or is it inside or outside? Just outside. Just outside the post. But that's the sort of one that might go over in the second half with the breeze behind them. Although the breeze does feel like it's swirling around a little bit now. It's not too significant, but there is still a bit of a breeze. Actually, yeah, it's just changed direction, it seems. It's just horrendous conditions, full stop, for both teams. So maybe it's not really important at all. On the break, oh, that's well won. And it's Turlough Carney gives it through. And it was number 15, Matthew Thornton, involved there as well. And they're looking at a score through Carr. And that looks good to me. He's very accurate from that side. And indeed, it's a good score. And it's another one for DCU, gets it back to 7-5. And they've done well. They're really sticking in this game, even though TUS has been very good and have taken some spectacular scores. DCU have grounded out, and they're right in this game coming up to half time. And as I say, they might prefer playing from left to right in the second half a little bit. Sean Gillespie in no hurry. He does take his time with the kickouts, doesn't he? And changes his mind a few times and just changes the direction of it. But on the break again, it's DCU winning it again, and indeed the player is held there, so McRae gets it, and they take advantage of the new rule, if they're still called new rules at this point. I was talking to the president, Jarlath Burns, this morning, and he's been very modest. He wasn't taking credit for them at all. Well, not really. He was giving all that to Jim Gavin, of course. But whoever it was, they deserve an awful lot of credit. And not just for devising them, but for bringing them in, and also just arresting the situation and addressing the situation where football was, and now ladies football have taken it on as well. So the benefits have been so much right across the board, and we're all grateful. So 7-5, this to go 7-6. Jack Kelly obliges and brings it back to a 1-point game. I'll make it 5 to half time, somewhere like that. Again, Gillespie. Very precise. Not too much movement up ahead. Goes the other side this time. And this time on the break, it's TUS Midlands. They do love to kick it in quickly, much more quicker than DCU would. They tend to work it through the lines, and I thought he was going to go for another big booming spectacular effort there, but the pass to McDonough wasn't great and left him at a lot of bother, but he did really well to rescue the situation with 3 or 4 men around him there. This is Owen Carty. Carty gets it over to Slavin. Haven't seen him kicking a point yet, but he definitely can, and from the frees and the 45s. Did that in the semi-final against UCC. That's a good ball out. Now this is the man who can hit them. Duggan gives it across to McDonough. Oh, he is pacey. Showed him one way, then the other, and that's going to go to the left. And in fact, it's not even going to go wide. Punched out by the goalkeeper, Joshua Flood. And TUS were leading 7-4, so they've been pegged back a little bit in the last 5 minutes or so, and they've just lost their range a little bit. 7-6 coming up to half time. Now there's a switch of play, but it might be intercepted because Hanahan is there, and he does well indeed. He spotted that, the big fella from Michael Glavies in Roscommon, and now this is McDonough from Galway. So the Connacht lads getting it together for the TUS Midlands team. And back out to Slavin. DCU with all the men back that they can muster, and they're very wary, I'm sure, at this point that TUS can take scores from distance, so they're pressing as high as they can. Now that's going to be a free in. Yep, he was fouled and he gave the advantage, and he's going to bring it back. So a free now and a chance for TUS to get a score coming up to half time, as I say. Haven't had a score for quite a while. Not a great angle for him, but not too bad for a right footer. Every player has their own style, don't they? Does it work for him? It does. And that's a good score for TUS Midlands. Goes to 8-6. They restore the 2-point lead, which is probably about fair on the balance of the first half. Possession's probably been 50-50, but TUS have looked a bit sharper and have taken some great scores. And their turnover rate and their transitions have been really impressive. But DCU now, with Kevin Muldoon doing really well, and talking about pace and intensity, he certainly has that, and he's still going himself. That's great play from him, and had the composure to give it back. That's great work. And this is Murphy. A few Ulster men up there from Donegal and Monaghan for DCU, but it breaks down. Gillespie, long way out of his goals here as he lost it. He's been dispossessed indeed. DCU have got it. Goalkeeper racing back into his goals and gets there now. Shane Corcoran now. And some of the crowd here standing in front of me here, but I can just about see. And that's an effort from Carr. It's a tricky one for the keeper, but he comes out and claims it. And that was good work by him. TUS Midlands survived that. 8 points to 6. Should be about the last minute or so off the first half. Maybe time for another score. They are so much more direct. They can get a score very, very quickly. Shane Corcoran hasn't had too much chance to shine, but a very, very good player for them. And when it comes in there, so much energy and pace, but it breaks down. And Ryan Robinson in there to sweep up, and maybe it's DCU who'll get the last score off the first half and get it back maybe to a 1-point game. Great pace again as they go forward, and TUS Midlands backtracking, fed through there by the... Oh, is it in the net? No, he just puts it across. It was Luke O'Boyle who got it initially, and then the shot right across the goals. I thought it was maybe going to land in the bottom corner. I don't think they've had a goal chance in the half, but that is definitely as close as they have come. And again, it was on that transition. I talked about the turnovers from TUS Midlands. That was a brilliant turnover and transition from DCU that nearly yielded a goal, and that would have put them in front by a point going in at half time. The game just always sort of stops when the goalkeeper at that end goes to kick it out. Maybe it's just there's not much movement around the field. There's nobody going short or anything. There's no options for him. So he drills it out, and looking for Hennigan, who gets a hand to it. Referee saw some sort of a push there, or a hand on the shoulder, taken quickly by McDonough. And they look to take it quickly again, and they must practice this shimmy, the TUS Midlands team, because they are very good at going one way and then the other. And then the centre half back, Owen Carty, comes up through the middle and takes a score. And player of the match against UCC, Roscommon player, his third year with the under-20s in Roscommon, comes up with a super score just before the break to put a 3-point gap in it. On the break, it's DCU. And he just prods it forward there, looking for Canis Murphy. And instead, we're going to have to bring this back here because there's a player on the grounds. A TUS Midlands player. I'm not quite sure what happened there to him, but he's down. So a little bit of a pause here just before half-time. There can't have been long left in the first half. Very close to half-time, but gives me a chance to look online and see what's happening. And there's now 1,000 devices on this game, which is pretty incredible for a Fesher 1 football final. And I would imagine that most of the people watching it, whether they're in bars or on their own or whatever, are enjoying what they've seen so far, and they've taken into account the conditions and are impressed by the efforts out there, despite the cold and the wet and the breeze as well. Is he okay? Looks to be. There's no doubt the players will be getting in at half time, and I can tell you, so will I. told by Odie up in Four Masters that half of Donegal is watching the stream, so maybe that explains it. There are 3 Four Masters lads out there. That's Odie McBride, who was over that Four Masters team who had great success up at St Paul's. And there is also a connection with DCU and the management, Michael Blaney from Fanad, all the way up there. And of course I also mentioned Rambo's son, the great Martin Rambo Gavigan. His son Nathan is part of the management, so a few Donegal connections there. This is Matthew Thornton, he's from Westmeath. And that's Callum McRae. The Four Masters men, they all link up around the middle. There's a great effort, but it's gone to the left. Looked good, and that should be half time now, is it? Was that the whistle for half time? Or no, he's going to bring it back. Must have been a foul in there, so he's going to get another chance at it just before half time. Well, I've said just before half time for about 3 minutes now. Referee Barry Tiernan from Dublin takes up his position near the goal here. I'd imagine this might be the last kick of the half, and it's from Jack Kelly from Leitrim. 9 points to 6 for TUS Midlands against DCU. But is it going to go to 9-7? It's close. It's inside the post, and it's a 2-pointer as well. And that was tricky in the conditions, but gets it back to 9-8 there, Jack Kelly. That 2-pointer, I think that's the second 2-pointer of the half. I imagine this is the last kick. I've been predicting that for a while, but I imagine this one is it. He's got a whistle, the whistle to his mouth. How much play is he going to let? No, we're still going, and it might go over the top over all of them, but DCU's Callum McRae read that beautifully. He sweeps up from centre half back and does that really nicely and gets it to Jack Kelly. Jack might even level it. It's a beautiful effort. Is it coming in? He's very unlucky, just to the left. You saw what he was trying to do, and it nearly went over the bar. Nearly a super effort, and would have levelled it at half time. I'm not going to predict anymore that it's half time. Do you know what? I think it's me just willing that it's going to be half time in these conditions. The break is won by DCU. They're on the charge, looking for another score to level it at half time. No, goes to the left and goes wide. Just a one whistle from the ref, which means we're still going to play on. Now he does look at his watch this time closely, and he's walking over towards the goalkeeper, and that usually means that he's going to blow for half time. He's going to ask for the ball, is he? No, they've only one ball behind the goal, so he's going to have to go over and get it. The goalkeeper all the way over to the corner, and he does that. Maybe I was ahead of myself on the time. As I say, sorry, I can't see the monitor, so maybe I was wrong there. Maybe it started a minute or two late. So 9-8, 2-2-pointers, I think, in the first half. Lots of great scores, lots of great play in this Electric Ireland Freshers 1 football final. Goalkeeper Gillespie. Here's someone to my left saying, hurry up. And he switches his mind again at the last minute, once and then maybe again. And it's a beautiful one because it's beautifully plucked out of the sky for TUS Midlands. And you know what, the last 10 minutes or so, they haven't really had the ball up here much, but that's a great ball in. Look how direct they can be, and they might even get a score. No, they don't. But those are the sort of ones they were putting over earlier. That is half time now, and it's 9 points to 8 for TUS Midlands over DCU. And in these conditions, I'm going to cut it off right there and tell you we'll be back shortly. Welcome back for the second half at DCU for the Electric Ireland's Fesher 1 football final. And I'm just reaching for my notes here, which are sodden, as everything else is here in Dublin. Not just here tonight, but we have a terrific game. And it's TUS Midlands on 9 points and DCU, the home team, on 8. The two big number 8s in the middle, waiting for Barry Tiernan to get us underway again, but they're going to have to wait because a few of the officials have decided to do the run across the pitch rather than around it. So he has to wait for them to get to the far side. Big crowd here at the game on both sides of the pitch. And as you can probably hear in my voice here, it's cool. Maybe it's just because the rain is setting and the clothes are damp. But let's get on with the play now and not talk about that so much. Let's go on with the game, and that is the number 6, Owen Cardy, who got a great score towards the end of the first half for TUS Midlands. The Roscommon man had a great first half. DCU in the Roscommon colours looking to transition here, and they get it to Luke O'Boyle. He's from the Clontarf club, the same as Sen and Ryan, the number 8. And they looked like they were going to transition quickly there, but it's stalled a little bit. 12 is Turlock Carr. Turlock very like Kevin Muldoon around this area of the pitch. The number 11, they are very creative and looking one way and then the other, and go slow at the minute, but when they put on the burners they are very effective. But it's a bit of a sort of wait and see what happens here. They're going forward cautiously. Luke O'Boyle, and there comes the pace where they try and find a way through and just to engineer something. Instead the ball goes in there, right in quickly, and looking for a point from distance, but just outside, and he goes for it. That's going to go wide though, and the referee's going to bring it back, I think, for a free. He'd give an advantage there, but you see they just go slow, and then try and create just a quick opening, and that's all they need, just a sight of goal. And they did have a sight there, and he blazed it, but went wide. The little bit of an opening was very quickly closed, but there was a foul before that, so Jack Kelly and Cole can go again. 5 is Ryan Robinson, and they come over now to Canis Murphy. Canis took up a lot of positions on the left in the first half, but now he's on the right of the attack and gives it to Jack Kelly again. So this is where I have the slow approach again, and then let the ball go across the field as quickly as you can, maybe, and try and catch them that way. But TUS Midlands have been very patient, and now they have the turnover, and DCU players are racing to get back, but they've got a bit of a reprieve there because the ball didn't stick. Now he's got it though. That's brilliant play by Andrew Hill, under a lot of pressure there, but he did brilliantly. Actually, it wasn't him, it was Brian Ronan, sorry. The referee's coming over to calm all that down. Shane Corcoran will give it to Andrew Hill. Corcoran again. And now he's skirting around the edges of the defensive structure there, trying to find an angle, and he does find an angle. And has he got the finish? Is that just inside the post? It's not. Hard to tell from here. I thought it might have been just, but didn't get through. So a real cat and mouse start of the second half, both teams. Obviously it's very close, and they're being cautious. They are taking their time and trying to make sure. And that one drilled low up the middle, and that's an effective kick out because it gets to Turlock Carr, but then he's pressured by McDonough, but gets away. Two very fast players around there. I'd love to see them in a 100-metre race. And talking of racing, look at the pace from this fella. That is fantastic. Again, storming all the way forwards, but what's the referee given? Did he give over carrying? I'm quite sure he didn't see the over carrying signal there, but it's definitely a free out for TUS. That's the only thing I can think of that it might have been. TUS in the black, trying to make history tonight by winning this for the first time. They've already made history by getting to the final for the first time. And they have shown us tonight that they're more than capable of winning it. A fine group of players. Overcarrying definitely this time. And DCU wrestle it away and take it as quickly as he can. And Sean Keogh, the captain, is up there. And he gets it to Callum McRae. This is Turlough Carr, the 2-4 Masters player, setting up McGuinness. And a block comes in there for TUS Midlands. So one thing we haven't had in this game so far has been a goal. And very few goal chances as well. TUS coming forward again with McDonough, who takes it really well. He's under serious pressure from O'Boyle. And another overcarrying decision, almost in the same area of the ground. And again, it's DCU not hanging around, trying to take it quickly. That was Andrew Stewart from Emmyville and County Monaghan. And Callum McRae from Four Masters in Donegal, getting us moving. Sen and Ryan, closer to home here from Clontarf. And he slips it through to Michael Reid. And when we're on locations, he's from Hunterstown Rovers in Louth. Now they get it to Turlough Carr, and Carr goes for it, but a good block. He might get a second chance at it, and this time he decides to run it, and he does. Is it going to be the fisted point? Well, it's ended up in the net. Is it given? Well, Barry Tiernan's having a look at it. He hasn't signalled just yet. The green flag goes up from the umpire, and the referee is noting it, and it's a goal. It's a goal for DCU. They take the lead 1-8 to 9 points, and I think that's the lead for the first time in the game. And I'm not sure if it was the conditions or what, or even if it was deliberate. I thought he was going for a point, but it's ended up in the net. That's the important thing. I was just talking about the fact that we haven't had a goal yet. Now we do. Two big number 8s. Hennihan gets a paw to it, and it's enough because they have possession from it. And it's Paul Keegan for TUS, and that one has stuck this time with Ronan. A lot of DCU men getting back and on the spill. They try to get in there and steal it away. And they eventually do get it, DCU, and it's O'Boyle. And that's a free. That's a free for TUS Midlands. The referee, Tiernan, right on the spot. And the transition unable to take place. Instead, it's TUS who get it. And we'll try again. We'll press again with Hill. Nothing doing up ahead, so he waits for Hennihan. Little 1-2, or actually no, he pops it on a little bit further and gives it in to Duggan. Lots of quick hands around this area. They have to be quick, and then the effort is a good one from Shane Corcoran. That's a good response to the goal. And the Westmeath senior player gets it back to a 1-point game. Substitute coming on for TUS Midlands, and it's the number 30, and that will be Brian Carroll from St Bridget's in Offaly. He was also their first sub in the semi-final, so no big surprise there. And he comes on for Dahi Dowling, the number 9. So 1-8 DCU, TUS Midlands 10 points. Still early enough in the second half. They kick it right over to the line. Has he been able to keep it in? He hasn't. TUS have the press, and they have possession. Just to let you know, there's 4 games here tomorrow on this very pitch from 11:45 in the morning right through. And there's also the Fergal Maher final down at St Pat's Drumcondra. So 5 games tomorrow, and the press on again, and I think that's an overcarrying decision again, but he's been very prevalent on that, if that's the right word, in the second half in particular, if that's what it was. But whatever it was, it's a free in to TUS Midlands and a chance for them to level now. And they will be grateful for that after conceding the goal, which may have been a little bit fortunate, but it's going to happen on nights like this. They've made a change to TUS Midlands, thrown in a sub there in Brian Carroll, and they're asking someone else to warm up. I'm just hearing off camera. Tricky angle, but has he got it, the left footer? I think he has, you know. Let's wait for the flag, and there is the flag, and that's an equaliser.
Come on, TUS!
I think I've got a few TUS Midlands supporters beside me. It's 1-8-2-11, and they've dragged themselves back level after conceding the goal. Kick out is good this time, gets possession, and it's the corner back Andrew Stewart, I think number 4. But he runs into a black wall, and TUS have really stepped things up in the last few minutes after the goal, haven't they? They've been winning a lot of the exchanges, and they've been finishing, and now they might even take the lead. They should at least get a point. They do better than that, they get a goal. What a finish. TUS Midlands, and you can hear the supporters beside me, you can hear the passion, and you can see in that goal that this is a very, very good team, making history tonight by being in the final for the first time. Now they want to go and win it. Electric Ireland Fesher's One football final has just come to life. It's just become, if you like, electric, if you excuse the pun. Despite the conditions. What a brilliant goal. They go for it. Hanahan tried to get a fist to it, but he wasn't able to. He might get it on the break. He does. It fell nicely for him. And Hanahan from Michael Glavies gets possession, but DCU man is down. The referee will just hold things up here for a second. Trying to balance everything here with the umbrella and my notes, so give me a little second while I check everything's okay online and make sure. And trying to get some tissue out of my pocket as well to help the cameraman. There you go, Patter. Testing, I think, is what you would call these conditions for the players out there and the officials and the supporters. Very impressed by the size of the crowd here, but why not? TUS Midlands again with McDonough to Corcoran. Those two lads up the middle of the attack have been very good. Paul Keegan from Tubberclare in Westmeath, the same club incidentally as the number 7, so two lads from the same club in Westmeath. That played right down into the corner, and I can't see that now with everybody in front of me, so I'll have to wait till it comes back out of there, and it does come back out to Adam Fox, the number 5 there from Tubber and Offaly. That one played in nicely. Now he's going to take his own score. No, he gets support there. And this is the man I was talking about, Slevin from Tubberclare. And he puts TUS Midlands into the lead with a super score. Actually, not in the lead, into a 4-point lead, of course. The goal put them into a 3-point lead. Now it is DCU putting on a sub. And it looks like number 9 is going over that way. Is he gone off the field? That would be Canis Murphy. Yeah, he seems to be going off to play. He is indeed off. Haven't seen who's in yet, but give me a minute. The kick out is from Joshua Flood into the middle of the field, and that's well taken. Is that the sub who came on? It is. It's number 23, and that is Cian Nicholson from St Malaise and Sligo. So he's into the play. Big fella around the middle. Well, he's taken up a position sort of right half forward at the minute, so he's gone over to the right, so maybe not quite the middle. That's an effort from distance. Going to drop short and wide. So a good spell for TUS Midlands after conceding a goal. They've hit back. That put them 2 down, and now they're 4 up, so a really good spell. That's either a free or a 45, but it's definitely a DCU ball either way. Man over it is number 10, Jack Kelly. It's a 45, I think. I can't quite see the line from my angle, but that looks like the 45. Takes his time to measure it. Here he comes. Gets good height on it. It's gone to the right though, and it's going to go out of play. And didn't get a touch. Gillespie, the goalkeeper, taking his time. Momentum has sort of gone out of the game a little bit in the last couple of minutes, but it was full on there for 5 or 6 minutes, and it saw TUS Midlands come from behind to go and give themselves a nice comfort now of a 4-point lead. It's a TUS ball, and they take it very, very quickly. Out in front as well, and good support play. There's a chance here, and you know what? They have Hanahan, the big fella, over this side, but it just didn't quite stick. DCU are able to clear and to build from the back with the sub there who just came on, Nicholson. Free for DCU. Give it to the captain, Sean Keogh, from the St Vincent's club from down the road here from DCU in Dublin City. This is Carr. Changes direction. It's up to DCU now, isn't it? They find themselves 4 down. They have the work to do. They have to push it. They have to press. But at the minute, it's TUS sitting in there in a very nice position, and DCU looking to get a run on them. Moving it around as best they can, all the Four Masters lads. Now they might give it out to Matthew Thornton. They do. And Thornton looks for an angle, but they look up ahead and they just can't see a way. And you see the wall of 4 or 5 black jerseys there, and they just move across in unison. And they're keeping them out quite nicely. It's a kind of wait and see. Can they find just a little bit of an opening here? Can they force something? Thornton injects a bit of pace, but he only goes around the edges. Turlough Carr will try again, but again, 2 or 3 black jerseys just shepherding him from side to side, and then they're following the runs. They're followed Callum McRae, but now it's Luke O'Boyle who might find a little bit of an opening, and he's still going and goes on to the left, and that's a super score. Well, that's a way to beat that sort of defence. Super play on his right foot, and because he was able to go on his left as well, he was able to get the score and take it very nicely indeed, and that brings it back to a 3-point game. Still a fair bit behind, especially in these conditions, but at least it's a start for DCU. But they had to be very patient just to get a point on the board there. I think that might be their first score since the goal, maybe second. Again, it's the 2 number 8s going for it and jostling for it, and it's the DCU man who was punished. Cardy on the run as TUS take it very quickly. This is Slevin now. Got a score a few minutes ago. Moving it around as quickly as they can, trying to catch out DCU, but DCU seem to have settled in there now in their defensive structure. Back out to Hanahan. And the line from the sideline is pretty much what I was saying a minute ago. They don't need to force it. They have the lead. They can be patient. Kieran McDonough. And they have time. There's no need to kick it away. They can be patient. So the fizz is sort of gone out of the game the last 5 minutes or so. It was the goal for DCU that livened things up a bit, and TUS, sign of a good team, they were able to up it, get a few scores and get a goal and put themselves in a really good position now. And their goal was an excellent one. DCU's had a touch of fortune about it, I think. This is Corcoran. He's turning the screw for them. There's a chance here now from distance, and that may be inside. Is it inside? Well, the cheer certainly has gone up, but let's wait for confirmation from the umpires. I haven't seen a flag going up, but it looked like a point, and it sounded like a point, and it hasn't been given though. I didn't see them signal a wide either. Now one of the umpires has lifted the flag, and the referee, I think, is asking him maybe to put it up, and now he does wave the flag, so it is a score. And there's also a change. Number 12, Paul Keegan for TUS Midlands has come off, so a substitution for TUS. Don't see who went on just yet, but I do see DCU maybe lining up a change. 28 is on for DCU. Did I know that? 28, I'm trying to find out even who that is. I can't just yet, but 28 on for DCU is definitely one change. Try and reach for my programme notes in a minute for that, but in the meantime, following the play, it's DCU who get possession. They look to take it as quickly as they can, and they get it out to Luke O'Boyle. It's hard to see a way through. They've only had one goal chance apart from the goal, which was, to say, a little bit fortunate. I think he was going for a point. Towards the end of the half, they had one chance, but it's looking like it might get to the stage where they're going to need a goal in this game. They're forcing it, though. They're pushing and trying to find a way through, but TUS are being very resolute and organised in there. It's 1-13, 1-9, 4 in it. O'Boyle again. There's a 34 out there, as you see, for TUS Midlands. Is that going over? It's a mighty effort. It looks good to me from here, but I'm not sure, so I'll wait. And indeed, the flag goes up. That's a super score, and it's a good reply from DCU. So 1-13 plays 1-10. Referee spotted something there right away, and it's a free for DCU, which they take as quickly as they can. There's the support coming in, and now they might be able to catch TUS a little bit before all the players have got back. No, they're forced to go back out again. And they do. And the familiar pattern emerges again. Turlock trying it from distance. That's an audacious effort. It might drop over the bar. Oh, very close, but just not on target. So the subs have been able to get my programme notes now. For TUS Midlands, 34 went on. That's Ben Kennedy from St Bridget's and Offaly. But already one of their players on the field tonight. And for DCU, 28 went in. DCU's 28 is Dylan Edwards from Templeport and Cavan. So that's you up to date in the changes. Cavan man and an Offaly man in there. Again, it's between the number 8s, and this time it's won by Senan Ryan. Referee says play on, get on with it. And they do. DCU, 3 points down. Carr injects pace as usual. But they do find it difficult to find a way through this TUS setup. It's kind of been point for point. Now he's going to try from distance. It's a beautiful dummy solo and a beautiful effort, but very unlucky. It's drifting to the left and might stay and play, though. There's danger here still. Oh, and he rattles it as well, but it was blocked in there, and I think it might have been, was it Kieran McDonough maybe? No, it wasn't him actually, but it was somebody in there. Got a great block on it for TUS Midlands, and you know what? They've had one fortunate enough goal already. I think it might have been actually, you know, Adam Fox with a block. I'm not sure, but there was nearly another goal that would have been a little bit fortunate. Again, it looked like it was going wide, but fair play to DCU. They nearly turned it into a goal, and that would have levelled the scores here. They press again. They get it to Ryan. And Ryan to the man who just came in a few minutes ago. Now Carr. This is good play. They're moving it nice and quickly. Fast hands and letting the ball in. And now, little dummy. He drops his shoulder, and as he got it, oh, it's gone to the left and it's gone wide. Well, the referee's blowing his whistle here. What's that for? I think he's maybe allowing a substitution. Is that it? Seem to be signalling. Yeah, it's a sub coming on. Number 18 coming in for TUS. 18, I think that's Luke Maguire. Trying to read my notes here. And is from Mullahoran. If it's him, he came on the last day. Yeah, it's Luke Maguire who's come in. Number 18 from Mullahoran Dreadnoughts, famous club in Cavan. So a couple of Cavan men have come in the last couple of minutes, and TUS trying to get it again. And they don't. DCU have won that, and he takes it as quickly as he can, of course. DCU 3 points down, and it seems to have been 3 or 4 points for quite a while. Are they going to be able to eat into that? It's an interesting effort from the corner back, I think it is, Andrew Stewart, and he's still going. No, it's a full forward actually. I just saw the 4, but it was a full forward, Luke O'Boyle, and he doesn't get on target, just like the one a couple of minutes ago. They're pressing and pressing DCU, but they just can't get the score that would drag them right back into this game. The supporters getting a bit excited. They're also quite tense. I think that's a release of the stress here, because they're very, very keen to see this team get over the line and make history here tonight. And they know they're close and they know that they're good enough. But DCU are winning a lot of the ball around the middle, and they're taking it quickly as often as they can, and they're running at them. They're driving at them, but it seems to break down around this sort of area, and that's McDonough putting serious pressure on, trying to win the ball back. He doesn't, and he will probably retreat now like the rest of the TUS Midlands players to form that defensive wall across the 45 area there again. It's intriguing at the minute. It's not wildly exciting. We're not getting the play that we had earlier with dramatic scores. And there's a breakdown, and there's a turnover for TUS Midlands. Now it's a chance for them to get up and get a score and punish them, but DCU turn over the turnover. Oh, that's well won back though for TUS by the man who came in, Ben Kennedy. Down into the corner. Oh, and it's broken down again. Well, you can understand it in these conditions, the way that is happening, and also at this stage in the game, it's rather frantic. That's calm play though by Jack Kelly for DCU, but over carrying by Sean Keogh, and TUS Midlands have it, and they'll be delighted to get that decision. 1, to stop the transition, and 2, just to kill the game a little bit. They are the team with the 3-point lead. Andrew Hill with the ball, and he gives it to Cian Duggan, who's going to be in no particular rush. Possibly another substitution. Is that the delay here? Not quite sure what the delay is. Now, does he fancy it here, Cian Duggan? Well, actually, he's going to leave it for Slevin. Now, I told you about this fella before the game, and I've told you about him a couple of times. He can hit it off the ground. Against UCC, he scored a 45, and he scored a 2-pointer free, and I think they were both off the ground. Well, one of them anyway, obviously. But I imagine if he hit the 45, you could hit a 2-pointer as well. This inside the 45. But at this stage in the game, in the final, with this team chasing history, this is a big ask. They have a 3-point lead, but it would be huge if he could do it. But he's obviously capable. He swung it in beautifully. Whoa, whoa, what a moment for TUS Midlands. Their supporters, their management on the sideline, they love that. They are beginning to sense that history is in the making here. They are looking to win the Electric Ireland Fesher 1 football final for the first time ever. And that would be one of those special moments they'll look back on. He swung that in absolutely perfectly. That was a wonderful, wonderful score by Slevin from Tubber Clare in Westmeath. That's the kind of score you look back on and say, that won the game. Talk about pressure. What pressure? There's a sub on for DCU, and it's Joshua Shehu from Cavan Gales. Interesting line there actually is that he played for Cavan Gales against the Four Masters lads in an Ulster Minor Club final, and now they're on the same team. Driven forward for DCU. They haven't done that too much, but a couple of kick passes and they might get in behind here. But TUS getting men back, and they get another turnover as well, and that's McDonough brilliantly coming in the blind side, and off he goes again. What a performance by McDonough throughout the game, but in that little moment as well, that was superb, and he's really taken it to them. They are on the up now, and that's McDonough again, and he plays it quickly into the corner. I'm not sure he meant to give it to Slevin, but Slevin has it, and Slevin, the man of the moment after that point a minute ago, but it's broken down. It's a DCU ball, but TUS Midlands have a 5-point lead. They've gone out from 3 to 5 with that superb 2-pointer. Swung it in like a boomerang. Judged it perfectly. But what about McDonough's work rate and turning that ball over? And DCU, do you know what? In the second half, they just haven't been able to find a way through. And TUS have been very, very quick to get in and break it away. They've been very patient, very organised. They have the lead.
Manners up here.
1:15 plays 1:10 then. It's Slavin again. Is he gonna try another one? This goes low this time, but it gets a deflection. It might end up even in the net. Oh, it's gone into the net. It has dropped into the net. It's a fortunate goal for TUS Midlands, but they'll take it. They conceded one at the other end, and it really sparked them into life. They replied with a goal, and about 10 minutes later got another one. Now, is it going to be allowed? The referee is in there, and it's not going to be allowed. It's been disallowed. Disallowed. It remains 1:15 to 1:10. DCU still in this game, but for how long? Maybe it'll spark them into life. That's a good kick out, even though he slipped as he was kicking it, and it's good work by the midfielder Ryan, but look at the pressure he was under from TUS players. Now they try to break out through that first line. Was that a foul from Carty? The referee says yes, but he lets them go with it, lets them play on. Carr has it. This is Shehu for DCU, looking to inject some pace and some creativity late in this game because DCU need it from somewhere. They could do with a two-pointer of their own. 1:15 plays 1:13. They have had short change in the last 10 minutes or so for all of their heavy possession. It's left off by Luke O'Boyle. There's a dangerous looking ball in. Could go anywhere. Goes wide. That suits TUS.
Come on, TUS now, come on! Come on, TUS, come on! 2 more minutes, 1 more minute.
We're getting another sub coming on for TUS. Yeah, it's going to happen now. 20 going on for them. And I make it that's Peter Moran from Anaduff in Leitrim. And he goes in right onto the full back. So he goes into the forwards in place of Brian Ronan. Here we go. The battle of the eights again, but it breaks and Corcoran is there. And TUS get it. That was Conor Breen from Naas and Kildare on the ball there. TUS taking the game to them again with Carty. He's been terrific. Slevin plays a really interesting ball in there, but it doesn't stick. Linesman looking at his watch.
Come on, TUS! Come on, Indy! TUS!
It's the Electric Ireland Fesher 1 football final, and what a terrific game it has been. TUS Midlands 1:15. DCU 1:10, and a big punch coming in there, and it's fallen really nicely for the sub who came in, and he's free here. He might be able to get a score. Is he going to take it himself? Oh, he just doesn't connect. But the referee has seen something there. He's indicating maybe a push, which means it will be a free in. So a second chance for TUS, and they will take that. Thank you very much. The number 20, of course, was Peter Moran, just came into the play a second or so ago. This is Cian Duggan from St Dominic's in Roscommon. Had a few booming scores in the first half. He doesn't miss often. Scored 6 points against UCC in the semi-final, and I think he's done better than that tonight. That's 1:16 to 1:10. Hasn't gone up on the scoreboard on the ground here for some reason, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time. Now he's obviously got injured there, as you can maybe see, for some reason there, and doing that maybe he pulled something just in kicking it, and he's in a bit of bother there. He is struggling. The play goes on. Now, the scoreboard on the ground still hasn't gone to 1:16, which concerns me a little bit, but look, it's still at least a 5-point lead, and I'm sure it's 6. That one breaks. And TUS Midlands just winning so many balls all over the field, and it's over. They've created history. TUS Midlands, their supporters, their players, their subs, Look at them dancing for joy out there in this monsoon weather. It doesn't matter to them at all. They don't feel it. It doesn't matter. They've won the Electric Ireland Fesher 1 football final for the first time ever. They are the history makers, and they have won it in style as well. A brilliant comeback in the second half. They were ahead for most of the game. They conceded a goal, but boy, did they respond to that brilliantly. And they played fantastic football throughout. Fully deserved win. Nobody could argue with that at all. Fantastic, fantastic scenes. And always great to see a team coming through and win something for the first time. They were in the final for the first time, and now they have won it. They've won the whole thing for the first time, and it's congratulations to TUS Midlands. And as I was saying earlier, they haven't often really been that prominent on the football map, but they're certainly on it now. The supporters are trying to get out onto the pitch, and thankfully there's almost a little bridge there over the little river down below us that has been created by all of the rain, and they're onto the pitch and getting out there and dancing for joy with the supporters as well. And to be honest, I think that the presentation is going to happen away over the far side here, and there's no point really in us staying on to try and catch it, especially in these conditions. So you'll see it all on social media, and people will be videoing and putting it up. But you've seen the main thing. You've seen the game. You've seen TUS Midlands beat DCU in DCU to win this cup, and it's congratulations to them. But from us, from a hard-working live stream team in these conditions today, it's goodbye.